Now we'll talk about XML Scope and Application. XML is valuable both to internet and large corporate internet environments. It provides a interoperability based because it is very flexible and open standard by W3C. Application can be built more quickly, easier to maintain because you have to just open the XML file in any normal editor and you can do it. There are a number of examples for the use of XML. There is a Sabre example, there is a chemical markup language. You can create, it is used in various kinds of online e-commerce. It is used in the publishing industry. It is used for configuration and setting purpose in various servers. Configuration and setting in servers like Tomcat, Apache, all of them use XML for their configuration and setting. So there are a lot of examples of how you can use an XML file. It can be used to transfer the data. So those are the various examples where you can use the data itself. Now let us look into how does XML document look like? What is the basic structure? What is inside it? XML document is composed of sets of entities identified by unique names. And it always begins with a root or document entity. Let us see what is that it means. What it means is that first line of any XML document will be a how to declare an XML. So question mark XML and version 1.0, and then you can declare doc type. It is not must to have, but you could have. And again, you can have entity, not must to have, but again you can have. So what is that doc type and entity? We'll discuss this in little later. We'll discuss in little later both doc type and entity. But let us assume those are two elements which you have to put in XML file. What is entity? We'll discuss it. For the time being, just understand it is like a variable, like my name. It is a kind of a variable, my name, which you can use inside somewhere. So in these elements, like 2, I'm using this Tom as a data directly. Here I am using the data directly. Here it is a variable name. So using the variable name, I am putting the data between tags from and from. So that is the way you will write a XML document for you. Now let us see that how it goes. So document type definition, we'll talk about DTD. This is called entity definition. This is called document element. Okay. Now before I get into further, let me just give you a brief overview. When you get into XML, what are the various tools which we'll use? So tools can be categorized in two parts. One is the tools which are used for viewing purpose, and other which is used for creating, editing, modifying and saving purpose. And there are a large number of tools in the market. You can just search and you will find tons of tools. Every couple of years somebody comes up with a new tool. So now viewer tools. So what are the tools you can use for just reading an XML file? You are not interested in editing, modifying, creating a new XML. Somebody has given you an XML file and you want to see it. What are the contents inside this? Then how will you do that? Very simple. If somebody gives you an XML file and asks you that, can you please go through it and let me know if it is okay? What you can do is that open your browser and load that XML file, and most of the browsers are doing a perfectly fine job just to view the XML file. I would also recommend to use Internet Explorer for other browsers to do that. If your purpose is only to read the XML file, then no need to download any fancy XML tool or to buy XML tool or anything like that. Just use your browser to read the XML file and that should be perfectly fine. But if you are in a business of creating a new XML file, editing the XML file, modifying the XML file, you want to save it. Then you need a tool which is going to help you to edit these tools, and there are a lot of them. Let us see that some of them. The basic feature you need in any such XML tools editors are syntax highlighting, so that it supports that. Color codes makes the XML easier to read, and some kind of a validating the XML, that whether the tags are properly done, the XML version is there. Some of the basic syntactical check. Now, what are those editors? So XML editors or tools can be free or paid. If you want to use the free tool, then these are some of the well-known tools which you can download: XML Cooktop, Mind Standard Edition, Pete's XML Editor, Eclipse, and NetBeans. They are pretty good. So pretty good. Now, if you want some paid tool for XML editing and saving, you can use XML Spy, you can use XML Mind Professional Edition, XMetal, and all those, these tools. So these are paid and pretty good. So this one is good, and I have been using this one for quite some time, Eclipse. And don't buy these, unless you have tried the free ones. Unless you have tried the free ones for some time. Okay? So don't buy these paid ones unless you have tried the free ones for some time, so that you know that why you are buying the paid one. There is no point. And there are free ones are pretty good. You can use any one of these tools, and most of them are doing a good job to create an XML file, edit an XML file, and modify an XML file. Okay?